Good job. Now we'll get sideways on our mat. Big long side straddle here. We want to establish that shins forward, thighs back again. So we got shins forward, thighs back slightly. And then what we're going to do this time is we're going to try to gather this yoga mat up in between our feet. So this is one of those actions where what we're trying to do is actually physically move our feet together, but you can't do that. So the only way you could do this if you're on ice or a really slippery surface where there's no friction. You can't do that. But the action activates all this inner leg musculature, which we're trying to really activate. So I want you to tease that. I want this to be tight. This should be uncomfortable. Okay, and let's go arms out to the side, and now we're going to go down in forward flexion. Butt goes back. Notice that I'm not going forward to fall. Butt must go back in order to keep us here. Arch through the lower back to keep a flat back. This is my kosher flatness right now. This is the best I can do. Normally I'd like to go to 90 degrees. I'm not at 90 degrees, but this is what my hamstrings will allow, so this is where I'm at. I'm really gathering those shins in and forward. If I was blocking this for somebody, I would be sitting right here on my butt with my shins, so I'd be facing them as a trainer, with my shins inside of your shins, and you'd be pressing against my shins, pressing out against your shins. So I'd be pressing out, trying to move your feet away, and you'd be trying to move your feet in towards me. See that? And then I'd be giving you feedback here, pushing in on your thighs so you push out on your thighs. So in through the shins, out through the thighs, forward through the shins, back through the thighs. So out and back with the thighs, shins are in and forward. And we'll stay here just to reiterate that for a few more seconds. If you can't remember all four of those things, then just remember one. And then when you get the one in your brain, then remember two. Once you get two, try to remember the third. Shins forward and in, thighs back and out. In 3, 2, and 1. Now we're going to rest here for a second. We're going to go right back into that. We're actually going to do a twist in that airplane position. So just want to give you time, a little second to rest. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Arms out to the side. Back into this. Butt goes back. Shins are what? You got it. Forward and in. Thighs are what? Yup. Back and out. Here we go. We're twisting to our left as airplane wings. Oh, good adjustment in my lower back. Thank you, Lord. Or whatever. Maybe it's thank you, Chad, since I'm the one doing the yoga. All right, we're going to go back to center and twist to the right side. Really tight on the left side for me. I don't know about you guys. Shins forward and in, thighs back and out. Really extend through the fingertips, all the way from fingertip to fingertip. Shoulders are down away from the ears, and the crown is tall, extending away from the tailbone. Really hard to twist here. That's good to know. It's good data. You get data when you do things like this. Back to neutral. Hands overhead and reach, 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 reach. Okay. Go ahead. Back to neutral. Stand up and come to standing. Good job so far. Good job. Okay. We're going to go ahead and transition to the ground. We are going to do kneeling table. So kneeling table is a kneeling position, hands and feet. You're on basically all fours. Just adjusting my wire here so I don't cut myself off from sound. Okay. So we've got 4 points of the palm. We've got 1 point right underneath the pinky knuckle, 1 point underneath the index knuckle, 1 point on the thenar eminence, which is this fatty, fleshy part of the thumb, and 1 part on the hypothenar eminence, which is on this outside portion of the pinky side, so it matches the thumb side. These are the 4 points of the palm. We're going to try to make sure that all 4 points of the palm are on the ground, directly underneath our shoulders, not in front of our shoulders, not behind our shoulders, as you see here, but actually right underneath them. I want to have my index fingers pointed slightly forward, almost exactly forward. So my index fingers are pointing towards the camera here, front side, which means I have an L and a backward L making a frame, a three-sided frame, slightly apart. And then I'm taking my pits of my elbows. Now the way I learned this was to go pits of the elbows forward, but I've actually switched my thought on this, so we're going to actually go elbows away. So turning our elbows out. Actually, I guess, it would be out. So right side is clockwise, the left side is counterclockwise. Okay, we're going to tuck those toes. What are the actions here? The actions are extending through the spine, so the crown of my head goes nice and tall. And after we tuck those toes, so I want you to tuck those toes. Hopefully you're barefoot. If you have shoes on, that's fine. We're tucking the toes. We're trying to get the ball of the feet on the ground. We're going to slightly lift those knees up, just enough to slide a piece of paper underneath. Good. Okay. 2, 1, back down. Now, flatten those feet out again. Here we go. Right arm forward, left leg back. Here's how this is going to look. Right arm forward, left arm back. Try to get them straight. Even pressure through all 4 points of this left palm. Let's take our right arm out to the side and our left leg out to the side. And back to center. Good job. And back down. Let's switch over 4 points of the palm with the right hand, left hand overhead, left leg back, or left hand up overhead, right leg back, sorry. And you want to widen those shoulders. There is an action in the forearms, but I'm not going to talk about that right now because it's a lot. So you're reaching through that fingertip, that left fingertip, and really extending through the right toe so you have energy going through your body. And back down. Good job. We forgot to go out to the side there. That's okay. So now we tuck those toes again. Maybe move your feet back just a little bit. Tuck those toes, and we're going to go into downward facing dog in 3, 2, 1. If you don't know what that is, look at your screen, especially if you're in the gym so you can look a little weird. Here we go. I'm going to go ahead and walk my hands forward a little bit since my hammies are tight. Now the whole goal here is to have my back flat from spine to hands. I don't want to be like this. So if you are having a hard time getting your lower back and your sit bones up to the sky, you're going to want to work on that by moving your feet forward and bending your knees a little bit so you can get this flat back and give yourself some space. The heels on the ground is okay, but not at the expense of the low back. So if you have low back problems or lack of flexibility or hamstring flexibility, I really need you to prioritize that flat lower back, not a rounded lower back. And then the second thing to prioritize is the sternum to the ground. Extend through the crown of the head. Shoulders are down and away from the ears. Full good pressure through all 4 points of each palm. Shins are forward, thighs are back in the legs. Coming out in 3. Actually, we're going to transition to upward facing dog in 3, 2, 1. That just means our hips come down to the ground, but they do not touch the ground. Neither does our knees. So you can see from that side view, we're still completely upright. Shoulders go down, away from the ears, and the shoulder blades go together. My pits of the elbows are turning away from my upper body because I want to really open up the tissue. My right elbow was hurting yesterday after I did my workout, which was a workout that some of you are seeing now. 5 deadlifts with dumbbells, 4 cleans, 3 squats, 2 bent over rows, and 1 man maker. And I did that, every 2 minutes for 30 minutes. And after that, my elbow hurt. So this is going to unwind that tissue. Okay, and go ahead and relax. Good job. And we go down to the ground. Where once we get to the ground, I'm going to explain an action here on the legs. I want your legs completely straight. Yeah, I want the hamstrings to incorporate any movement up. So the hamstrings, not the calves, if the calves move and the heels, this is elevation. The hamstrings don't move with it. I'm going to ask you to elevate the legs at a certain point in time. When I do that, I want you to move through the hamstring as if I have an eye hook in my hamstring and I'm pulling it to the sky. It looks like this. It looks like this. It does not look like this. If you need a mirror in your room to see if you do that, I need you to do that. I need you to get yourself a mirror because integrity is important here. We're in the business of integrity of movement, not sloppy movement that has no integrity. So we're going to lift like this or pointed toes. We're not going to lift like this. Capiche? Capiche. Okay, hands are down, palms to the ground. Fingertips are reaching for the legs. Our hands are not on the ground, they're hovering above the ground at about hip level. So I'm touching my hips about that level. Crown is of my head is extended forward. My nose is about 2 inches off the ground. I want that there. Shoulders are down away from the ears. Shoulder blades are slightly pulled together and back, opening up the chest. Now in 3, we're going to lift our legs up from the hamstrings. 2, 1, here we go. This is difficult, so it will be laboring. You can do it though. Pointing the toes, lifting up from the hamstrings, not the calves or the heels. Now, arms out to the side. If you have to let the legs go because of the lower back pain or you just can't hold it, do that. It's okay. Lift them again when you're ready. Hands overhead. Shoulders are down away from the ears. Fingertips are extending forward. Lower abdominals are engaged to help stabilize that lower back. Okay, in 3, 2, 1, relax. Good job. That was a